Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Warning: this video is a candid exploration of the 2019 graphic novel by DC Entertainment, Harleen. This video may also include discussions of violence, sexual situations, and drug use. By viewing beyond this point, you take responsibility for choosing to watch this video. All views expressed in this video are mine alone, and do not reflect any person or people, or any group or groups. Thank you, and please have a great day.
Hello and welcome to this video. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone's doing okay. And I hope the universe is treating you fairly. Today's video is going to be on the DC Black Label comic, or collection of comics. It was a 3-book run originally, called Harleen. The author of the Harleen comic was one Stjepan Šejić. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. He, from what I understand, things I've read on the internet, at the time that he wrote this is my copy, by the way. This is a wonderful, whoop, almost dropped it there. Wonderful book. Take the dust jacket off, because the art on it on itself is that there. And that's the back. Is wonderful. This is a great. Let me get back to what I was saying. The author, look at his name real quick. Šejić is his last name. Like I said, I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly. His only exposure to Batman at the time he wrote this was Batman the Animated Series and the graphic novel, the comic collection of Batman Hush. Some things I've read said he also had read Dark Victory and The Long Halloween, though that is questionable because it's only on a couple places where I found it. So take that with a grain of salt, but they almost all say that he had access to the animated series, the 1990s animated series, and Hush. A lot of the art stylings is real reminiscent of the Hush comic. If you haven't seen it, is very stylized, very beautiful. This is another one of those ones where buying this for the art is well worth it. If you're a connoisseur of comic art, connoisseur of just good art in general, this is well worth it. The story, like I said, it's an origin story for Harley Quinn. Originally, Harley Quinn was supposed to be a one-off character. She was supposed to be in this 22nd episode that premiered on September 11th, 1992, called The Joker's Favor. That was it. She was supposed to be boom, gone. However, the zeitgeist at the time, what was going on in America, for whatever reason, boom, instant fan favorite, just boom. She was created by Paul Dini and Bruce Timm for the series. She made her way into the comics later, and she was originally voiced by Arlene Sorkinson, who passed away in August 2023. But she was the original voice of Harley Quinn. She was modeled on a character that she did in a soap opera. CJ doesn't rewrite the origin story, Harley Quinn's origin story. But what he does is he tells it from Harley Quinn's point of view, or at the start of the comic, she's Dr. Harleen Frances Quinzel, PhD. She's an interesting character. The story, you have to understand that the story is told by her, and she's an unreliable narrator, and intentionally so. There are things that are just bombastic and just way out, which lends to let you know that she is an unreliable narrator. She's telling the story from her point of view as she slides into insanity. Another thing this comic does do well is show the Joker's abusiveness toward her, his manipulation of her, basically he's using her to escape, using her for sex, using her, period. And we the reader see it. We the reader get things that the character who's telling the story doesn't know. And it doesn't sanitize it. It doesn't make it into a lovers, Romeo Juliet type thing. It shows what it shows from the get-go, that it's an abusive relationship. It's interesting in this particular telling of the story. Harleen gets the nickname Harley while in college because she's having sex with her professors, and the other students in the doctoral program that she's in refer to her as Harley, as something that an older man going through a midlife crisis would ride. So yeah, it's she and this is her background. She has this on her. As she goes in, she has a theory of that criminals, your super criminals, your Two-Faces, your Jokers, your Penguins, your Catwomen, your Poison Ivy, and stuff like that have had all their empathy drained from them. For whatever reason, they no longer possess any empathy. And going through and returning this empathy to them would cure them. That's her whole game plan. And at the beginning of the story, she's legit, above board, and is trying to do the right thing. But she is not mentally prepared for what is waiting her. She's not mentally strong enough to handle it. She's taken in by the Joker quickly. There's just before she starts her job, there's a sequence that the Joker's on a rampage, and him and his goons roll up on Harley. There's been an explosion, chaos going on. The police are responding. Batman, who only makes very few cameos in this book, is in the process of responding, and the Joker brandishes a gun, points it right in her face, but for whatever reason, doesn't kill her. Just goes on. He eventually gets, Harleen sees him get pummeled by the Joker, by Batman, excuse me. Sees Batman just beat the crap out of him, just beat him senseless. And that affects her. At the beginning, she either wants to talk to inmates at Blackgate Prison, criminals that have yet to go to trial at Gotham Police Department, or the inmates at Arkham Asylum. And she's, putting out all the stuff. Hey, I'm a psychiatrist. This is what I want to do. It catches the eye of Bruce Wayne, who, through Lucius Fox, pulls the strings to get her into Arkham Asylum, which Batman laments later on, at the end of the series. There's a series of panels in which Batman is talking to Alfred, or Bruce Man, or Batwayne. He's in the Batcave. He's got the Batman costume on, and he's got the cowl pulled off or pulled back. And he's lamenting about the decision to get her into Arkham Asylum to work on her research with the inmates. Visually, the stuff between her and the Joker is graphic in as much that the dialogue, you see what you want to see. You're not actually seeing what's on the page. Your brain, because everything has been, the author has so meticulously set this up and just dropped all the right pieces in the right places at the right time, that when you're reading, especially like the sex scenes and stuff between Joker and Harley, your brain is seeing a whole lot more than what's on the page. Mind you, we do see Harley and her panties and a bra, but that's about as far as it goes. But because of the dialogue, because of the way it's set up, they're having sex. He's using, it's some crazy ass BDSM stuff going on. we get a scene where Joker manipulates one of the guards to bring him a copy of her personnel file, her background, and he finds it, and he reads up on her, so he knows how to answer her to manipulate her. She's also interviewing the other, she has some interviewing with Killer Croc. She has some interviews with the Penguin. But the most telling is Poison Ivy. Poison Ivy figures out from Jump Street, from the word go, that she has been manipulated to fall in love with the Joker. Poison Ivy, she understands that. And Poison Ivy makes the comment, usually I have to kiss somebody to get them sexually aroused like that. There's a dream sequence where Harley's in bed, she's going through this dream sequence, and she wakes up and she looks dead at us, the reader, looks us in the eyes and says, "I'm wet," insinuating that she's aroused, she's turned on. So there's that. Meanwhile, you have the B story of Harvey Dent. And Harvey Dent transformation into Two-Face. And a very corrupt, very immoral group of police officers that believe in extreme, radical, authoritarian punishment for criminals. And they decide they're going to cause chaos by first of all starting a riot at Arkham and releasing as many of the inmates as they can. The inmates do that. This gang of thugs that Harvey Dent has they've kind of recruited themselves to follow Harvey Dent. And they go in, shit hits the fan. In fact, they bring Poison Ivy the stuff she needs to use her special abilities, her metahuman abilities. And there's another sequence in which Poison Ivy's like, "Oh, you're..." Basically, it's in a lot more words, a lot more fancy words. She's like, "Oh, you're enthralled with the Joker now. Wait till I put my fingers inside of you. Then you'll know." And it's foretelling. A bunch of them escape. Batman is assisting the fairly honest cops from Gotham Police Department on the cleanup and the investigation. He finds Harleen's information in the Joker's cell, and he realizes at that point he's the one that created Harley Quinn, that he's the one responsible. And like I said earlier in the video, it's this realization that Batman realizes that he was the one that he feels the guilt over it. There's supposed to be more to this story. Šejić is supposed to, when he gets time, because evidently his commercial ventures outside of the comic book world keep him busy. So he hasn't had time, but he wants to do 2 more that are telling Harley Quinn's story from Harley Quinn's vantage point. Then he wants to go and do 3 graphic novels, or the equivalent of 3 graphic novels, on Poison Ivy's seduction of Harley Quinn, and go from there. To the best of my knowledge, at time of recording, those are still kind of in the kind of wait and see type thing. DC has not, DC Entertainment as it is now, it used to be DC Comics, it's now called DC Entertainment, hasn't canceled it. They kind of got it on hold till he's freed up to come and do it proper, do a good job. Between the time that I recorded this and the time this goes live, may change. I could have missed something. Some of these stories could be out there and I just missed them. I don't know. So yeah, and if they are out, I will probably track them down. If you know something that I don't, please leave it in the comments. And do it. I'm really looking forward to it. If and when he gets the time to do it, just because the story is that well told. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up here. If you enjoy the Batman universe, you enjoy the character of Harley Quinn, check this book out. It is well worth the time to sit down and read it. So until next time, people, remember to be a good human, be good to other humans. Peace.
Hey, it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?